Please be seated. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Rector of the International Islamic University Malaysia, Iium, Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Osman Bakar, Fourth Rector of the Iium, Professor Datuk Sri Dr. Syed R.D. Aidid, Dean of the Kuliah of Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman Kuliah of Islamic Review Knowledge and Human Sciences, Professor Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman, Deputy Dean Academic and Internationalization of the Kuliah, Associate Professor Datin Dr. Aini Maznina Abdul Manaf, Deputy Dean Responsible Research and Innovation of the Kuliah, Associate Professor Dr. Hasina Ibrahim, Deputy Dean Student Development and Community Engagement of the Kuliah, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Noor Abdul Jalil, Heads of Departments, staff and students of the Kuliah, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon. Welcome to the special session with our Honorable Rector. It is indeed a great pleasure to have him here for the very first time in our special session as we engage with, as there is an engagement between the Rector and our community at the Kuliah. I'm Aida Mokhtar and I will be the MC for today. Now let us listen to the words of wisdom of our Rector and have a fruitful discussion afterwards. And we will commence our session with a dua by Dr. Nashwan. Please welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين. اللهم لك الحمد يا ربنا، أنت نور السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن، وأنت قيوم السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن، ولك الحمد أنت رب السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن، أنت الحق ووعدك الحق وقولك الحق ولقاؤك حق، والجنة حق والنار حق والنبيون حق. اللهم لك أسلمنا وبك آمنا وعليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وبك خاصمنا وإليك حاكمنا، فاغفر لنا يا ربنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وما أنت أعلم به منا، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم يا جواد يا كريم، نسألك اللهم من فضلك ورحمتك، فإنه لا يملكها إلا أنت يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا هادي اهدنا وسددنا لأحسن الأقوال والأخلاق والأعمال، فإنه لا يهدينا لخيرها وأحسنها إلا أنت يا رب العالمين. اللهم جنبنا سيء الأقوال والأخلاق والأعمال، فإنه لا يجنبنا سيئها وقبيحها إلا أنت يا كريم. اللهم يا الله يا مقلب القلوب، ثبت قلوبنا على دينك، نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم يا رحمن جملنا بالعافية وزينا بالتقوى، واجعلنا من خيرة أوليائك وأحبائك وعبادك الصالحين. اللهم يا رب العالمين بارك اللهم في كليتنا كلية عبد الحميد أبو سليمان لمعارف الوحي والعلوم الإنسانية، وزدها اللهم عزا وشموخا وبركة وقبولا، وبارك الله في علمائها وفي القائمين عليها وفي طلابها. اللهم زدهم توفيقا وإخلاصا وعلما وسدادا ونظارة وقبولا وسعادة وعافية. اللهم بارك في القائمين على هذه الجامعة المباركة، وخصوصا مديرها الأستاذ الفاضل داتو إميرتس عثمان بكر، وفي نوابه، ووفقهم اللهم إلى كل خير، واكتب اللهم لهذه الجامعة النجاح والتطور والرفعة. اللهم يا رب العالمين اجعلها منارة للعلم والتقى ومحضنا للخير والفضيلة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Oh Allah, benefit us with what you have taught us. Teach us what will benefit us and increase us in knowledge. Ya Allah, forgive our sins and our transitions. Establish our feet firmly and grant us victory Ya Allah, Ya Kareem, bless those in charge of this university, especially the Rector of Iium, his deputies, his scholars, administrators, students. Ya Allah, grant them sincerity, increase them in knowledge, and bestow upon them continuous success, happiness, and well-being. Ya Allah, Ya Kareem, bless our university with goodness, success, and blessings, and make it a beacon of knowledge, piety, and virtue. Allahumma ameen. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصل اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.
Now, without further ado, I'd like to call upon the Professor, our beloved Dean, Professor Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman, to give the welcoming speech. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Aida Mukhtar, for being the MC. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin amma ba'd. Yang berbahagia Profesor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Osman Bakar, Rector of Iium, former Rector of Iium, Professor Datuk Dr. Secretary Elite, former Deans of the Kuliah Department. I'd like to also mention Deputy Deans, all academic members, student representatives, brothers and sisters. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very pleasant afternoon to all of you. On behalf of Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman, Kuliah of Islamic Review Knowledge and Human Sciences, I would like to welcome our beloved Rector, Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Osman Bakar, to this AHAS KIRTS special session with the Rector. We are very delighted to know that you have chosen this kuliah to be the first kuliah for you to visit and address the community. Alhamdulillah, we managed to arrange this session with our community of academics, administrative staff, undergraduates representative, as well as postgraduate representative. Inshallah, we look forward to learning from you, to be given directions about how should we navigate the kuliah, vis-a-vis the aspiration and direction of the university, inshallah. My friends, brothers and sisters, we have been listening to Professor Dr. Osman Bakar in several sessions before this, whereby he has laid down his direction and aspirations and expectation. And when we listen to him, especially the Kuliah management team, we realize that there are many obligations that we have to take back to our Kuliah and honor it, accomplish it, inshallah. Right? So today, we would like to learn more from you, Datuk, so that we are clearer of what should be done in the Kuliah and how we should position our Kuliah being labeled as the heart of the university, as you have labeled it in the, I think, liqa or inaugural lecture last time. Datuk, please allow me to have some time to enlighten you on what we have in the Kuliah or what we do not have in the Kuliah, in my brief. Okay. So for your information, Professor Dr. Osman, this Kuliah of Islamic Review Knowledge and Human Sciences was established in the year 1990, before which we stood as Center for Fundamental Knowledge. Right? So we are currently standing as the largest Kuliah in the university with over 5,300 students, and some 203 academics and 4 administrative staff members. So academic activities in the Kuliah focus on integration of Islamic Review Knowledge and Human Sciences. Right? So this Kuliah has been named after the second rector of the university, Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman Kuliah of Islamic Religious Knowledge and Human Sciences on the 5th of November 2021, day after the demise of the second rector. So in the Kuliah, our academic activities, teaching and learning, consultancy and research, innovation, community engagement, as well as publication, are anchoring on these 7 missions. Yeah, and carrying on these 7 missions, which pillars are Islamization, integration, internationalization, and comprehensive excellence. We are also anchoring our academic activities, especially the teaching and learning activities, on our Iium education philosophy. Next. Right, so at Kuliah we have this vision to be the center for educational excellence and research in the area of Islamic religious knowledge and human sciences combined. Our missions are these 4: integration of hierarchy and HS, Islamization of human sciences, relevantization of hierarchy to contemporary issues, and the 4th one is to conduct research and innovation in the discipline of Islamic religious knowledge and human sciences integrated. We are motivated by this one verse which we deliberated in the current or in the recent Ibadah camp, in Surah Taubah ayat 1 to 2. That is to provide best education service to people who come to study or to learn in this institution, so that they are equipped with competencies that enable them to return to their community, serve their community, be the agent of change, be the agent of development, agent of improvement in their community. Next, please. Now, we have been struggling since 40 or 30 years over to become fully functioning center of studies, in the sense that we are not only providing teaching and learning services, but also research consultancy services, plus publication of contemporary literature as well. Next. Right, so this is the big picture of this Kuliah. Okay, we are doing the 4 main functions. If you look at the bottom row, okay, we are accomplishing the intellectual functions, social development functions, educational functions, and also spiritual development functions. And these functions are being taken care of or are being accomplished by 4 groups of forces, which are academic members, okay, rank from assistant lecturer to professors. Higher education professionals, we have 43 administrative staff members. We also have holistic students and graduate researchers. Okay, we also regard our postgraduates as young researchers. Okay, they are also joining force with us in accomplishing that 4 functions as now, and also the undergraduates as well. So we regard our undergraduate as our important component in our forces as well. Right, so our activities can be divided into knowledge generation, dissemination, application, and also relevantization. So the destination or the aim is the application of human sciences and social sciences knowledge with Islamic studies principles, right? The knowledge of Islam, the knowledge of human sciences, the principles of the sciences are applied in changing, in improving, in developing individuals in the society. So this is what we meant by we want to be fully functioning Kuliah, so that we are not only focusing on teaching, but also conducting research, which can be the basis for the development of intervention to change, to improve and develop the society. So every year, okay, we have our imperative statement or our focus, right? So this year, okay, our focus is to cultivate wisdom, to inspire excellence, and to shape the future. So before this, these were our imperative statement. Like in the year 2023, okay, our focus on upholding adab, strengthening knowledge culture, and radiating virtues, and the rest are as stated on the screen. Okay, next. Now these are the 11 departments plus offices in the Kuliah. Here we have Department of Usuluddin and Comparative Religion, which we have listened to your new direction as well before this. Perhaps you are going to
reiterate that today. Department of Fiqh and Usul Fiqh, Department of Fundamental and Interdisciplinary Studies. This is a department which offers courses to all students in the university, whether they are in Pago, Kuantan or Gombak. Right? So we have about 6,000 students that we teach every semester. Okay? Run by this Department of Fundamental and Interdisciplinary Studies. Department of Quran and Sunnah, Department of Arabic Language and Literature. Next is Department of English Language and Literature, Department of Sociology and Anthropology, Department of Psychology, Department of Communication, Department of History and Civilization, and Department of Political Sciences. Okay? And then we have 3 offices, Office of Student Development and Community Engagement, Office of Academic and Internationalization, and Office of Responsible Research and Innovation, and also Postgraduate, under which we have Head of Responsible Research and Innovation. Next. These are our undergraduate programs. We have 11 undergraduate programs offered by 10 departments. Department of Fundamental and Interdisciplinary Studies does not offer any degree. Department of Fiqh and Usul Fiqh offers 2 degrees, which are Bachelor of Fiqh and Usul Fiqh, as well as Bachelor of Halal in Industry Management. Next. Right, so we have many postgraduate programs that are offered by the 10 departments. Currently we have 21 Masters and PhD programs. Right, so this is at the PhD and Masters via research mode, mixed mode, and also coursework mode. Next. Okay, currently we have 4,506 undergraduates, 842 postgraduates, 203 academics, and 42 administrative staff. Right, so alhamdulillah, many of them are here. Some are having classes. Alright, so we look forward to learning more from you, okay, so that they can go back and position themselves vis-a-vis whatever you have aspired them to do, inshallah. Next. So these are the lineup of the deanery of healthcare teachers. Right, so we have 10 or 11 head departments who are working with 3 deputy deans and 1 dean. We also have 4 coordinators who are assisting us in running the kuliah. The next. Right, so we also have what we call Center of Excellence. Okay, we have Graduateness Research Unit, Islamization of Knowledge Research Unit, Women for Progress Research Unit, Electoral Studies Research Unit, Computer Assisted Language Learning Research Unit, and Contemporary Fiqh and Humanitarian Research Unit. So these are the research units which are registered at the Research Management Center. This is university level research clusters, we call it. So in addition to these 6 research units or research clusters, we also have kuliah research centers, which are what we call at the infancy stage or early stages. Right, so we have a unit for social sciences, advocacy and research, psychology services unit, Nursi Research and Training Center. So this is a center funded by one foundation in Turkey. Right, so they have been organizing classes, language classes. They have been also sponsoring research and also publication. Right, participated by our students and staff. Center for Foresight Studies, Social Mediation Unit, Policy and Area Studies Unit, Heritage and Manuscript Research Unit, Communication and Media Center, Hamkah Center, and also Child Bilingualism Center. So in addition to this, we have 2 new additions, which are Ismail Shahabuddin Center, which is funded by an organization in India. Right, so this foundation has been funding research, publication, and activities on campus, benefited by our students and academic members. The recent one is Omani Research and Study Center, inshallah. So we are going to benefit from all these facilities and resources to be fully functioning center of study, inshallah. Next. The kuliah hosts or houses 11 journals, right? Some of them are Scopus Index, right? So these are the chief editor and also editors who have been actively running the publication of those journals. Next, right? Our academic members come from 24 countries, 23 rather, 23 countries, right? We have them here, alhamdulillah. Okay, we have from the Philippines, Indonesia, up to Uganda, right? Next, right, so the teaching and learning activities in the kuliah are facilitated by academics who play the roles of murabi, right? So the roles of murabi that we have been conceptualizing, okay, and shared with our members are this. They should be telling or teaching the students about the sources of knowledge. In Iium, we know that our epistemology are not only the empirical ones but also the divine ones. So this is our Islamization and integration work that we do in our teaching and learning activities, plus research, publication, and so on. Right? So our Islamization and integration also focus on highlighting and bringing the reality and truth of the subject we discuss or that we deliberate. Then we also focus on values. And the most important thing here, we focus on the purpose of knowledge. Knowledge is not only to be researched, not only to be documented or published, but also to be applied in changing, improving, and developing the community. Right? Next. Okay. Alhamdulillah, now that we are talking about Tawhid epistemology, and we look forward to learning more about this Tawhid epistemology so that it can enrich or enable us to substantiate the work of Islamization and integration that we have been doing in the kuliah. Right? We believe that with the clearer understanding of epistemology, now Tawhid epistemology come to our vocabulary, that we can enrich our ontology. We can also beef up our knowledge of axiology and also and expand our teleology or maqasid of knowledge. Now this has been the focus in our integration and Islamization of knowledge in the kuliah. We call it the Iium framework. Right? So the epistemology would enable us to deliberate the ontology of knowledge, to understand and internalize the values or axiology of knowledge, and then apply it to the community so that we can also highlight the teleology of knowledge. Next. Now this is our curriculum charter. I don't need to go through them, but all in all, the curriculum at AHAS KRTHS are the epitome of our mission and also Iium education philosophy, which is rich with axiological notions. Next. With regard to postgraduates, right? So our students are conducting research, right? And from the Deputy Dean of Postgraduate, we have received this data that most of our postgraduate research are focusing on integration and Islamization work, in addition to the fundamental focus. Next. So every year, we have a 2-month period whereby we encourage our academics to focus on their research and publication and consultancy. We call it Scholarship Advancement Program. So this has been going on for a number of years. So we have concluded one this year whereby all academics have presented their work in their departmental seminar or conference. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you very much for your attention, Datuk. So we want to learn more from you after this, and hopefully our audience, our participants, our students can benefit from your direction and aspiration, inshallah. So, billahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Shukran, for a very insightful speech and information on our kuliah. Without further delay, I'd like to now invite our Honorable Rector, Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Osman Bakar, for his words of wisdom. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me this very precious occasion for me to meet all of you here. I'm very happy, very excited also to visit, I repeat, the heart of the Iium. So I'm now in the heart, and of course within the heart there's also another heart, and that is the Department of Al-Quran and As-Sunnah. I'm saying from the perspective of Islamic epistemology. If we think that this department is understaffed, not enough people, or having some problem, then there's all help. The Department of Al-Quran and Sunnah Studies. Because if that heart is not well, so the rest of the university will not be well. You can understand that. But anyway, Prof, thank you very much for giving that briefing. I must confess that I do know many things about the kuliah, but of all the kuliah, the most familiar to me is basically your kuliah. That was partly because of my long time association with the people who have been the founders of the kuliah. Three, and me personally, three of the first three kuliah, although much of my time was overseas during that time. So basically when the university was established in 1983, I was not in this country. I was doing my PhD. When I came back, I was invited to join, but then the authority said no, I was wanted somewhere else. So I did not join the university. So I never had a chance really to be among you as distinguished members of the kuliah. But Allah knows best. So I didn't want to tell you all, I never thought that I would be rector here, because I have been trying to avoid that all the time. But until the point when I cannot resist anymore. So that's why I'm here. But it's not this the program here actually what I mind. After you heard what I basically talk during the inaugural lecture, we just said I thought now it's a good idea. In other words, inaugural lectures not only for the new professors, not only for the graduate professors to give their inaugural lectures, but also rectors. I hope this will set a new tradition that rectors, vice chancellors, when they are appointed, of course after they are appointed, can take the time, but then we must give their inaugural lecture. That was Islamic tradition. Islamic tradition. When Al-Ghazali was appointed, the chair of Shafi'i law, at the Nizamiya University in Baghdad. He gave inaugural lecture. The hall was full. You can imagine at the Zawi. And of course, at the young age of 28, he was very brilliant. At the age of 28, he became a full professor. When we are still struggling at 28. Yeah. So there was tradition. Yeah. The tradition. I think we need. So for those who are going to be appointed professors, who are the professors, please give your inaugural lecture. I will make sure that I will attend every one of them. I had the opportunity already to attend one, Professor Ratna from Education. So next will be from this Korea. Yeah, also want to say that this program is, I don't know, it's too formal, not too formal. Basically, it's a two-way traffic, Prof. It's not just you listening to me. I want to learn from you. We are a Muslim community of academics. We know very well in our religion. Well, I mean, sometimes we are correct, sometimes we are not. Yeah? So we correct each other. So it doesn't mean that I'm rector or professor, for example, that you all should be quiet. No, I encourage this one thing. I encourage open discussion, where even the young lecturers have very important things to say that they are good at and not good at. So I want to learn from the community of Iium community. Yes, there are areas in which I'm quite good, maybe. Yeah, there are many other areas I'm not. Yeah. But I'm always guided by that concept of the unity of the sciences. Wahdatul ulum. Unity of the sciences. Unity of knowledge. That is the corollary of the unity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think if we stick to that, we will not deviate, we will not, in a sense, stagnant, but basically there's certain magical power, certain power which no words can really describe. The power that the principle, the doctrine, La ilaha illallah possesses. All knowledge is contained in that simple formula, profound formula. But we will divide it, we apply this principle in different ways, in different fields. History and civilization will be guided by it. Even Quran and Sunnah will be guided by that. Communication even will be guided by that. Or political science will be guided by that. We are all guided by that. So what I'm doing basically, it's nothing new. I'm just reminding myself, reminding you, my brothers and sisters, we stick to that. I said, that power, in this one, the ability of that principle to generate new knowledge. So it's not simply affirming that we are Muslims. No, I'm saying to that, it's based on fundamental, this Tawhidic epistemology. Best in principle, all knowledge is contained in that principle. It's up to us to think about it, to reflect on that, based on the supported by the Quran, by the Hadith, and all the wisdom of the ulama, of the hukama, the arafat, all this. There are classes of knowledge in Islam. So I just want to impress upon that. But of course, I think every rector has his some style also approach. So I will pay more attention during my rectorship on making sure on several things. Number one, I would like to see that our identity, the identity of our university, the whole university. But of course, the main one is the kulliyah, your kulliyah. Yeah? It's a question of revealed knowledge. Of course, revealed knowledge is there in the Quran, but that is awaiting reflection, contemplation, exposition from us. And that's the tradition or the tafsir. So the tafsir tradition is very, very important. I would like to see that the Iium scholars in our midst who are able to be able to come up with new tafsir of the Quran, especially in what is not getting important. There is a thematic tafsir, a tafsir al-Mawdi. And I can, for example, I myself wrote a book, Quranic Pictures of the Universe. Quranic Pictures of the Universe. That is, I told Professor as a Tahir, yeah? That is a thematic tafsir, but concentrated on natural phenomena, on the cosmic phenomena, what we call natural science. But the beauty of the Quran, Professor Rashid is now writing a book on this, thematic, on this thematic tafsir. There's hundreds and hundreds, thousands of themes in the Quran that you can write on. This approach to the study of the Quran has not caught the imagination, the popular imagination of the academics, because we are used to be used we are used to traditional classical tafsir, but even that is thematic as well in science. Yeah, you want to describe what tafsir of Ibn Kathir, for example, in each tafsir must be focused on something. Fazlur Rahman, the late Fazlur Rahman, he wrote the important work, major themes of the Quran. It's about 9, if I'm not mistaken, just concentrating on 9 themes. But there are hundreds of themes, as I said. So I would like to see. I'm looking forward to someone in our midst, in this university, will come up with this tafsir, native tafsir. Of course, you need support to do that. You may be too busy teaching, and I think I would like to help. I will explore in what way I can help. Yeah, if you want, if the aim is to produce mufassir, then must provide the support, materially, intellectually. We cannot just expect, do you teach something, then the university is not providing the help. That is not correct. Yeah. To the extent that I can help, inshallah. Yeah. You need a team, fine. Yeah. You need, it's very difficult to get one person, not like in the old past, but you can have a team. So the second terms of basically by giving the example, I would like to see IIN excel in the field of scholarship. We are not just a mediocre university. We are the leading university. When we see these publications, so this publication international, not just local. Yes, we can start with local. I started with local. Everybody will start with something, but then we should not stop just there. We must go beyond. I think we are in a position and to achieve that. That's why I emphasize on in my before I joined as rector. I wrote an article defining the core identity of Islamic University of the 21st century. We are an Islamic university in the 21st century, but are we honoring that title? Yeah? Then I think it's something for you to reflect on. Then I gave that talk on Tawhid epistemology, and my visit today basically is in line with that. We discussed during that speech, because somebody is questioning, they say it's not quite clear what is meant by Tawhid epistemology. I grant that, in other words, it's not something that by listening to one lecture we are okay already. No, it's an ongoing thing. Tawhid epistemology is an ongoing intellectual exercise, intellectual activity. But that is our constant guide. And then recently, of course, that art and this Jamaican in the level of action of what? Ummatic development. So this ummatic development is a very, very important metaphysical concept, political concept, social concept. So we need to understand the term ummatic in a more in broader sense, in a more precise sense. Not simply that we belong to an ummah. No, it's more than that. Basically, it's the way we approach problems. Ummatic is also about the way we approach problems. Certainly, national problem, regional problem, global problem is ummatic. So it is inclusive. It is inclusive approach. It is a holistic approach. Then it is basically it's a dynamic concept. The concept of ummatic is a very, very dynamic concept. If today the ummah is in such situation, partly, understanding entirely, but partly because we have not really addressed the real meaning of ummatic. Alright. Now, so just now, this is not for discussion. Maybe just a few minutes more, then we have discussion. I saw that Iium, Professor Shukran, Iium. Yeah, Iium, epistemology, ontology, A, ontology, and the other one teleology. I saw something missing. No, it's very, very important in Islamic scholarship. Yesterday I discussed it in my pictures of the Quran. The Quranic pictures of the universe. It's cosmology. Cosmology is very, very important. It's basically because we live in the cosmos. We are surrounded by the cosmos. We are part of the cosmos. Yeah? Of all this logi, this is the this is the nearest to us. We are part. We are integral part. Yeah? Because we are a microcosm. Every one of us is a microcosm. Microcosm means the little universe. The little universe. Yeah? So the one Muslim social philosophers, political philosophers, before they talk about the human society, they first write about the cosmos. What is the cosmos? Because in fact, basically, is what they talk about the Arkanul Iman, the 6 articles of faith, from God, and then the angel, and then all the makhlukat, all the creatures that go down until here. So that before talking about society, talking about human beings. So that is very important. This is something that maybe you have to talk about among them. But I just raised that. Yeah, I thought because it's not what I mean is not covered. It's not covered by epistemology. Yes, cosmology is related to ontology, but not exactly said. Itu are not said. Yeah. So that one. Yeah. But for the rest of the now I want to say something about which I mentioned in my speech, in your lecture. I refer to several departments in this Korea. First, political science. So, who are interested in political science? Yes, I see Sister Lan. Yeah. I hope in terms of stuff you are okay. Yeah. So I suggested that we need to change the name of the department to Department of Political Science and Madani Studies. I received feedback already, including from the head of the department. Once I said, "Oh, this is political." I said, "Yes, it is political, but it's not the same as what you mean by some mean by political. It's not sectarian politics. You know, it's not saying, I'm not here on behalf of the Prime Minister to talk about Madani, no, to campaign for Madani. No. I studied about Madani when I did my PhD. That was 40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago. Part of my PhD thesis is on Madani, long before people talk about Madani in this country. So I cannot be, campaigning for someone else. No, it is something about Islamic history, about Islamic civilization, Islamic thought, political thought. It's very important. So it's just that one man by the name of Anwar Ibrahim, he likes the idea. He wants to apply that to his politics. That's it. That's all. But as students of political science, you can discuss that or discuss that. But I'm not suggesting you change the name just because of that. Because political thought in the West and in Islam have been discussed within a certain philosophy. In the case of the founder of political philosophy in Islam was Al-Farabi. Al-Farabi was generally considered as the founder of political philosophy in Islam. So he introduced that word Madani as a concept, as an academic concept and philosophy. In the sense that he harmonized two traditions, two political traditions, one from the Greeks. Because when he wanted to translate the Greek word politikon, he translated that into Madani. But when Al-Farabi chose that word Madani to translate that, the Aristotle word politikon, it's because he was aware as a Muslim that that meaning was already present in the prophets, in the thought of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, when after arriving in Yathrib, the old name Yathrib, he changed the name of the city into Medina, because he wanted to demonstrate that this city, my city, the city of the Prophet, is where I'm going to show how all the Madani values are going to be established in society. So Al-Farabi basically synthesizes that from the Greek tradition and from the prophetic tradition. So my argument is that when we study philosophy, political science, different from the West, we must go back to that foundation. Actually, that foundation was accepted, it even influenced the West. Much of Western political thought was influenced by Islamic political. So, what I'm saying, when we do that, our thinking will become broadened horizon. Yeah? And after all, what is Islamization? Or knowledge about? If the idea is to find this, a more integrated approach to the subject. Yeah. So that's that. The other one I mentioned, Professor Shukran, is about which department? The Department of Usuluddin. Yes. Department of Usuluddin. Basically, I said we change that to Usuluddin and comparative religion and philosophy. Philosophy is very important. Very, very important. Today there is not one single department of philosophy by itself. No. Somehow, so as if Malaysia is not a fertile ground for philosophy. I think it is. Then, if it is, then there must be something wrong with us. Philosophy is very important. But what I mean by philosophy is hikmah. What the Quran calls hikmah, the wisdom. That is only an accident of history. Then the word falsafa and the accident of history. No? But later on, the philosophy is it's not that word. Philosophy is understood by studied by hikmah, wisdom. So the and of course we do not want philosophy to be studied independently of religion. That's why we must have the Usuluddin. But again, please remember the critique of Rumi regarding the use of the word Usuluddin. Because what I'm going to write in Masnawi is usul. Because what level of usul are you talking about? What level of usul? So that's a critic. It's good critic. So and of course, philosophy and religion. Yeah. In Malaysia alone, Malaysia is a multi-religious country, pluralistic country. Yeah? Traditions, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and later Christianity. There must be a university. There must be one university which is good in comparative religion. But of course, comparative religion is based on Islam, because Islam is alone will be able to comprehend all the other religions. So, in a sense, we become a critic also. So it is important to have that department so that we know other religion. I think many of our the companions and including Sayyidina Umar talk about the needs. At least there must be one group among us who knows the religions of the other religions. In that sense, for example, I like to study about Confucianism. Of course, Confucianism is the thought of many Chinese here, but there are many similarities between Islam and Confucianism. So that's the purpose of that department. So we have comparative religion and comparative philosophy. So I think why previous attempts at establishing Department of Philosophy in Malaysia failed, because basically they taught Western philosophy. That was what happened when they established Department of Philosophy in University Science Malaysia. It only exists for a few years, and then they had to close shop. When I tried to find out why, well, they are not teaching Muslim philosophy, not Chinese philosophy, no Indian philosophy, but modern Western philosophy. Doesn't happen. That's also what happened when UIA itself, IIN, wanted to establish Department of Philosophy when the campus was still at the Putaran Jaya. Remember, I mean? We tried, but failed. Because I found out, again, Muslim lecturers, but the philosophy they taught was not Islamic philosophy. So I hope this time, inshallah, and we will teach in the light of the Quran, teachings of the Quran. And the other one is department of the two department, Arabic literature and English literature. So I can get feedback from you all. Yeah? Basically, I would like to suggest to unite the two in terms of the importance of literature. Of course, literature is very, very important. And of course, for us, the core of that literature will be Islamic literature. Islamic literature. A field which does not get much attention compared to the other branches. But it's very important. Literature is very important. So, this one I'll discuss further with you all before we make a decision regarding what we need to have. So, okay, I think I'll just stop there. I think that could be a little bit, because I really want to listen to you, your views, or any questions. This is a free discussion. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Rector Datuk, for the insightful speech. I'm sure we feel very happy with his kind words and him calling us the heart of university. It's really something, isn't it? Yeah. Now we've reached the question and answer session, and I'd like to invite the Kuliah's committee to take the opportunity to ask the Honorable Rector some questions. Please introduce yourselves before you ask your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our dear Rector, Prof. Dr. Osman Bakar, for this process of intellectualization of our Kuliah and of the university. A dimension which I think is about how to reach our KPI and how to get promoted and how to cope with our teaching loads, etc., etc. And I think Iium, as an institution that aspires to both revive the Islamic tradition and initiate or re-initiate it in contemporary times within the global context. I think this aspect should be emphasized and re-emphasized. And the framework you are proposing, I think it's worthy of reflection and consideration, especially when it comes to interdisciplinary studies. I have been feeling a little bit worried over the last years that even at departments which belong to the same area, like Islamic studies disciplines or the social science disciplines, seldom we find within the framework of these two zones a serious interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary or whatever you call it within the. So let alone to find that by crossing the river, going from RKH to human sciences or back. And I think it's high time that we give this not only more profound thought, but try to visualize some kind of action schemes and programs by initiating certain kinds of units or groupings or whatever. At least we can start by some kind of general discussions and how to develop some common themes. And there are a lot of them. So hopefully what you have really initiated can be translated in our activities. I really pity myself and pity some of my colleagues. One, for example, just let me talk about the area to which I belong. When I find that it's very rare you find people belonging to fiqh and usul fiqh who are concerned to learn about what Muslim theologians, what al-Razi, what al-Ghazali, what al-Juwayni and others have been saying about certain issues, or what mufassirun and what kind of interpretations or what kind of methodology they have been developing. And similarly, it goes actually reciprocally between this. So I think it's now it's already late, but still doable, that we overcome our closed boxes. This is really, we go out of our prison walls of the specific neurodisciplines, because reality, whether as expressed in the Quran or whether it is manifesting itself outside in the world, so in society or in nature, is not unidimensional, it is multidimensional. And if we don't approach it within this kind of comprehensive, integrated approach, we will not be really doing justice to it and to ourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Tahir. I fully support what you said, and that's precisely what we hope to achieve. The reason why in academia, in academic life, there have been that tendency for individuals to specialize and specialize and specialize, to the extent that they forget their origin, the roots of their own discipline. So I think that's a problem. Especially in other words, we become specialists by forgetting the principles on which our own discipline rests. So many of us forget that basis, forget the foundation of our own field of specialization. And in Islamic epistemology, that foundation that refers to what is in Western culture is called assumption, premises. We assume. Yeah? I think I remember when Allahyarham Tan Sri Kamal Hassan, when he first in the early 1980s tried to really to talk about Islamic anthropology, Islamic sociology. One of his critiques, I think he directed, which I learned from him, which he criticized precisely because those assumptions, assumption, the assumption. For many people, they were not taught about those assumptions. They were mainly concerned with methodology, how to study a particular thing. All right, but so maybe here is a question of how to energize that culture in which those assumptions will be talked about. And this is where we need philosophy. So in other words, Department of Philosophy or Department of Comparative should remind the others. What you call assumptions, for us, is not assumptions. We have they are truth in our own discipline. This is what Ibn Sina said. All right, for any scientific discipline, they cannot prove the assumptions within their own field. So they have assumed to be true. Now, you can only prove them in another discipline which occupies a higher position epistemologically, which is cosmology, which is basically philosophy. Because that is important. If you are a psychology, let's say your field is psychology, especially empirical psychology, then those assumptions you should assume to be true. But the question is, those assumptions can be true, can be false. If they are true, it's fine. But what about if they are false? And how do you know that? So you need the interference, the intervention of another discipline. That is very, very important. But then the kuliah is all those departments. We should be able to remind each other. When we say, if our sister or brother makes a mistake, please to go there. But we don't do that when it comes to ideas, and this is the problem. When it comes to action, when one is doing something wrong, we are going to nasihat it or don't do that. But this thing does not exist when it comes to ideas. We want to keep quiet. I mean, just for example, we don't want to offend or something like that. This is because the truth is the truth. It is about truth, Yeah? So I think this is important. In other words, we all need to go to that 4-element structure of every discipline. The subject matter, well-defined subject matter, the mawdu, then the well-defined assumption, can be physical assumption, can be cosmological, can be metaphysical, whatever it is. And then the methods. The methods. What are the methods? And then the goal, the objective. Yeah. So if you remind that, because to me, that is the real purpose of Islamization of knowledge. To understand the elemental, the 4-element structure of our own discipline. If our discipline cannot understand that, we have not yet achieved the goal of Islamization. This is the higher level of Islamization. Now I call it piecemeal. It's just by quoting verses of the Quran, the Hadith, and so on. That's very elementary level of Islamization. Beginners, yes, but not always. And we have to go beyond. Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I have heard somebody sharing his personal experience during the inaugural lecture of yours, or maybe during the I would like also to share my personal experience with you. In 1999, when I started my PhD, I thought you were 1999. 1999. I think you were in George Washington. In Georgetown.
1999. I was Deputy Vice Chancellor Yusuf.
I see. So I think maybe 2000 or 1999. Yes, I wrote to you. I was about to start my PhD. I wrote about religious pluralism. There was not so many references around, but alhamdulillah, you have shared some of your works with me, and alhamdulillah, here I am today. I would like to say thank you for helping to build that curiosity and intellectual. You are part of my intellectual.
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. I think the thing should be shared, and I hope that you all can be inspiring teachers, just like Professor Osman Bakar. Secondly, Prof, my observation joining this university, because I actually graduated from University of Malaya, and I appreciate the vision and mission that we have over here. That actually moves me, and when Professor Dr. Salihah established centuries, this is something that I want to highlight. I think the establishment of centuries is very timely, because we have been here for many years. This year is about 40 years, 41 years already. But what are our tangible outputs? Alhamdulillah, I think Jibal IT has helped a lot. Many of our academics here have published works, integration, Islamization and whatnot. But being in this office of postgraduate research, I found that we have many good research from our postgraduate students, and we should, some of them should be published. But unfortunately, because after they graduate, they leave the university and they hold the copyright of their thesis. So I think perhaps this can be the task of centuries. Except that currently centuries is together with the mosque, which I think is not strategic, because Shah's Mosque has its own, concern and purview, and centuries should be an intellectual center to look into all activities related to integration and Tawhidic epistemology that is, in my opinion, is an extension of this Islamization, which is very brilliant.
My next visit to the pusat tanggungjawab, the center resoluti, is to centuries.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. So we can do a lot if
if centuries can restore centuries to its original function and establishment. Secondly, I thought that we kind of regress a bit when we eliminate the office of Deputy Rector of Internationalization. We should restore that office because we should have the responsible office to look into international linkages, and I think because of the elimination of this office, we had a lot of problems with students' visa. We need somebody, at the upper hand to look into the problems of our international students, and speaking on behalf of our postgraduate students, international students and Australia. Because MashaAllah, Prof, they are very brilliant. I've looked at the title of their research and MashaAllah, I've looked at the titles of Quran Sunnah Studies, Fiqh Usul Fiqh, MashaAllah. They are very good titles, but I thought that you should collaborate and cooperate with some other departments. So I share your concern, Professor Tahir, about we are being very territorial with regard to our area of specialization, whereas now it's a time for us to join force together, and do research together. I can see Dr. Syed Hussein, you're doing a lot on biomedics, but I think it's good to have somebody from Kuliah of Science also to join force with you in your research. So that would be my aspiration, Prof, to bring more force to this kuliah, lots of potential to this kuliah. We have so many good, brilliant minds, but they are too shy and they are too humble, I think. Inshallah, with your spirit, except that sometimes, Prof, I think it's good to have things to be very organic. But with humble people, sometimes it has to be top down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for including your observations about the internationalization. Well, but basically, I think I have discussed with a colleague. We keep to three deputy vectors. One is academics and internationalization, and there's a reason why we want to keep the two, in order to keep it. Well, basically, it's not to separate academic from internationalization. It should be under one person, but we'll be doing some reorganization under that portfolio. In other words, greater emphasis will be given to internationalization, and that will focus on both attracting the best of foreign students and the best of the foreign academics. Too. Yes, in other words, I have already started recruiting 3 leading professors. Professor Syed Khairuddin from NUS in Singapore. Got him to be at ISTAC, and then Professor Yasir Auda, and then Professor Intia Sudis, and some more pointing professors from outside the country. And then of course basically what that internationalization is academic things. It's not all exclusive academic, right? For example, under research, under students relations. But on the whole, I think internationalization will be better served if we under together with academic. But certainly the international office will be empowered, will be much more than what you have been before. We will empower that, provide all the necessary facilities, increase the facilities, cut down this question of visa requirements and so on. So I think these are all administrative things that can be improved. But in terms of structure, that's it, academic and then I also integrate research, innovation and development. So development is not separated, but the three go together. Research leads to innovation, innovation leads to development. So we have an integrated approach to the three, inshallah. And by development, we don't mean just physical development. It's intellectual development, this question of communication technology, artificial intelligence, and so on. Yeah. Yes, Prof.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think this concern is related to Prof. Bakar, and I apologize if this is already in the system and I'm not aware of this. For me, in order to to move forward with scholarship development, and I'm very happy to see this passion in serious scholarship. So, in my understanding of scholarly tradition, before the madrasah, before the educational institutions, we have that rihla tradition, or I call it marhala, and the problem of marhala versus madrasah. But we have now not seen too many rihla, and the funding for rihla is not there for individual scholarship development. So for me, like for conferences, for instance, you have to use they say you have to use your grant funding money to fund your conference. But sometimes the grant is about something else, and you are invited at the international level for a certain conference that will give you on-ground exposure and experience, but you don't have any money to participate in that conference. So that and if a head of a department or a dean wants to send some of the staff to be exposed to a certain experience, a certain background, transdisciplinary project, and so on and so forth, and I'm not sure if there is any individual scholarship development fund, not funding for just publication. We have that 5,000 for publication. What about if we don't use that 5,000, we just use 2,000, and the rest can be used for individual scholarship funding? Maybe to attend international level conferences, or maybe to gain a certificate, a professional certificate, maybe like one wants to learn adult publisher, and so on and so forth. So you can use something from the funding to develop individual scholarship. So for me, that is one of the things that people are speaking of. Do we have funding to develop ourselves? And so when just in the inaugural lecture, you mentioned Department of Usuluddin and Political Science, and we were there. I mean, Quran reciter, Doa reciter, Dr. Ali, we were all from Department of Quran Sunnah. You say, okay, merajuk lah, tak sebut Quran. But in the second, the liqa syahri, you mentioned Quran Sunnah, but after economic, Center for Economic something, Center for Economic Development something. Yeah. Center for Islamic Economy. So I said that's
why?
Yeah.
Why CIE?
In the liqa syahri, liqa jama'i.
Yeah.
You mentioned Department of Quran and Sunnah Studies.
Yeah.
But after Center for Islamic Economics, that shows the economics and money is important. Before we can put Quran and Sunnah at the public. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Now, important here is about the role of the university, the academic course or the academic career and scholarship of every academic. That is very important. So, I would like to have the young lecturers, because it is very important for you all to be exposed at international level, present papers. But of course, papers that are related to your, in order to get funding. But I have been talking to the executive director of finance. I was asking, but all right, said now what money is available now to have to do research, to attend seminars, especially the young lecturers, young professor, associate professor. So I'm giving attention to that, and I've been promised that there is. In fact, she said, Prof, we have money, but the money is there, but it's not being used. I got a shock. No, you ask say where the money, but I'm told 2 days ago. I'm asking, I need money to make sure that people want to do research, in this kuliah had the money. Right? Maybe you had the money, I don't know. But the point is, I heard people say, no, there's not enough money. And then this, our executive finance director, no, we have money, but nobody applied. How can that be? What's going on? What's going on? All right? So I'm trying to see what the problem is. I want to make sure there is enough money for you to attend seminars and conferences, present papers, of course. Present papers. That's about it. There are certain things, just talking about scholarship, not just presenting papers. Now, you know that in Malaysia, the very low value given to translation. Very low value given to translation. Now, in the West, if you want to do PhD, you can translate a classical text. Can be on the usul fiqh, could be on philosophy, could be in tasawwuf. But find a book, an Arabic text that has not been translated into any other language, right? Maybe just still stay in the form of manuscript. Like we have hundreds and hundreds of very important manuscripts at Al-Atas Library, for example, in Islam. It's just there, nobody, because no encouragement. So how should I want to encourage? I want to provide, to encourage some of you on that, say, we give you incentives, give scholarship. You want to do PhD, for example, on that? I'll give you scholarship. You translate a text in the scholarly way. You edit the text, then you translate the footnote and so on. That should be accepted as a PhD thesis. It's not right now. So I could say in the next 3 years, I give 3 scholarships to you, to your kuliah, to do PhD transfer. So that's important. This kind of thing. I'm looking at this kind of where somehow we just ignore what is going on in this country. So that's it. So,
I would like to congratulate.
repeat.
Yeah.
Can you repeat?
Marzuki from
Can you
department.
repeat the name of your department?
Department of Political Science and Madani Studies. Thank you very much. First, Datuk, I would like to congratulate you for your appointment as the new rector. And I would also like to thank you for explaining just your vision about the Madani studies for our department. Maybe you can add the name Al-Farabi Department of Political Science and Madani Studies, I don't know. And then I also appreciate the commitment that you will try your level best to provide support that we need in order to excel in this university. And that's the reason why I'm standing here. That as a small man from that department, we would like to seek some help from you. For example, we need online databases, more online databases of journals, e-books. Because what I notice when I look at students' assignment or even when they write their thesis, lack of good reference. And I notice maybe because they don't have access to important databases like journals and also e-books. For example, last semester I accessed this one book in EBSCO host on comparative politics, but this semester that book is gone. I don't know what kind of subscription that we have, right? Maybe limited subscription, I don't know. Last semester with the head of department, we have a meeting with the liaison officer from the library. We list down certain online databases that we need, but the answer is no budget. So I think maybe if you can help us to see through this, maybe for example to increase some budget for the library, so that we can have more comprehensive databases that will of course help us in teaching, in doing research, and also in writing and publishing. And it will also help our students in writing their assignments and also thesis. That's number one. Number two, physical development. While he was speaking, I believe that you noticed this. I think more budget need to be given to maintenance of the building. I would thank the Dean for your prompt response. The two classes in our kuliah that cannot be used because leak and the ceiling was falling down. So, but 2 days ago the repair work has been done. But I think the whole roof needs to be replaced because the building itself has not been refurbished for more than 20 years. You go to the toilet, you go to the classes, you walk through the corridor, you think a lot of things need to be refurbished. And probably I know that this, the MOF will say no budget, but probably you can say that probably we will refurbish UIA. Take for example 10 years or 5 years. Yeah, do it in phases, kuliah by kuliah. Probably the cost is 100,000. You can, the government can spend about 20 million a year. Then in 5 years we can see new spanking new building with new facilities. For example, Prof, this one, LCD projector. We have LCD projector in our club. I think we use old technology, not HDMI. So what happened? We can't use it. Why? Because our laptop now using HDMI. We have to use the what call this adapter or whatnot. But the problem is, we can see if we want to shoot it to the screen up there, we cannot just duplicate, right? So we can see on the screen, we cannot see in our laptop. If we want to see in our laptop, we cannot see it on the screen. So what I did for the purpose of efficiency, I share the slides through the WhatsApp group. Yeah, so I think we need budget for this because we are talking about Madani, bro. We are talking about the city. We are talking about civilization. It means technology. It means progress, you know, and it must be reflected physically, not only philosophically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. We're sharing the good news. And first of all, regarding the access to research facilities, to all sorts of kinds of data, I will speak to the new Deputy Rector in charge of Research and Innovation and Development, Professor Muhammad Osman. Inshallah, he will address. Inshallah, will address that. The other ones regarding the physical conditions of physical buildings and so on. The good news is this, because the Prime Minister wants, he has the same concern. In other words, he knows what is the condition. He knows the bad condition inside the campus, and he wants to have. So, as his first gesture of this help that he wanted to give, he has instructed the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Zamri, and Dr. Zamri in turn contacted me. Then the first allocation of 50 million ringgit. Allocated, you know. So what I did was immediately after I received that instruction from the minister, said, please list all the buildings and anything, the conditions, even the sports, our stadium, and so the conditions of the mahalla, especially the mahalla is in very bad shape. So I sit down with Professor Farid, because at that time we don't have yet the other deputy director, the only deputy director. So we must come up all this, the whole list, every campus, Gombak, Istak, Kuantan, and Pago. We came up with the head of the director of the development division. So we came to the list. At first, nearly 1 billion. 1 billion ringgit. When I told Faris, cut it down. I mean, if nearly 1 billion, then they may not entertain us. Finally, we cut down to 350 million. 350 million for the entire Iium campuses. So the list has been given to the minister himself. Because of that. Right? Now, based on that, is it, the minister said, no, we give you 50 million first. At first, the instruction is 50 million so that you can do anything to make sure that when the Prime Minister comes to visit the campus on the 13th of December, this year, 13th December, right? The money we used to do renovation, but the time is impossible. It's too short. Yeah? It's too short. But the important thing is that some buildings at least to show that we are taking action to renovate and so on. But we continue after the visit event. But the point is, the minister is going to be in the campus 3 times in the next 1 month. The first will be on the 17th, the second day of the convocation. Second day of the convocation, he will be here because his son will receive his scroll from ICOL. His son from ICOL. So he himself is going to present the scrolls to the president. The second one, he will come to visit the building. He said the instruction, please take me to the worst affected building, don't take me to the nice one. Right? So we'll at least we take to one mahala for the ladies, one mahala the female, or the men. And 2 kuliah. The 2 kuliah, not yours. The children. We'll very good one, inshallah. We have that time. Yeah? It's ICOL and economics. Yeah? But don't worry. That's already. I mean, I'm sure you know how much we allocate to your kuliah. Yeah? So certainly there are inshallah. So action is taken. The important thing is money is only announced the amount 50 million, and we still have 300 million. So I really hope that inshallah we'll get this renovation. Okay, basically,
Assalamualaikum, Prof. I think my question is and the experience of Madani studies back in the 90s. Yeah? I remember you're of course one of the founders of MPU subjects, KITAS, and all that. We had a conversation some time back about that. So basically when we say political science and Madani studies, I'm thinking about the scope and the curriculum here, because we have FITS, and FITS is the service provider for the MPU subjects. Right. So when we talk about Madani studies in the context of the department, what are we referring to in terms of the content? How does it differ from the nation building and civic development elements in the MPU subjects?
Okay, thank you for the very good practical question. On the question of what is the best way to teach political science in the context of modern society, in which we intermingle, in which we encounter each other in a different perspective. Different perspectives are always in tension, basically. All right. So, of course, in our case, Iium, we're talking about Islamic perspective and the modern Western perspective. After all, if you want to talk, I don't know the detail in the past how Islamization of political science has been going on, for example. So I'm trying to learn. I don't know why you in your case, yeah, political science. But the best way to carry out Islamization and integration in the context of Islam is comparative study. Comparative study. Certainly, comparative philosophy of political philosophy. So I say, I will try to learn. I said, you provide me all the details of the information. What sort of political philosophy did you teach? I want to learn that. So, what is the political epistemology, or the epistemology of politics? Well, Professor Rashid is here, the old timer, political science, yeah? Basically that, yeah? The history of Madani thought, just basically the history of political thought. When many of Muslim universities, when we study history of political thought, it's basically history of Western political thought. Yeah? Very little reference to the history of political thought in Islam. So when we bring in Madani studies, we need to have one full-fledged course, one module on the concept and philosophy of Madani. What the historical origin of the word Madani, the conceptual development of the development, historical development among the different scholars. Yes, it's founded by Farabi, but we know other scholars that don't refer to that. Yeah? Even later on up to Ibn Khaldun, but of course when Ibn Khaldun used the word Madani, what sort of semantic changes have happened? You can do that. Yeah? Al-Ghazali used that. Yeah? But so the point we need to that. The most important here is the philosophy, because if you want to study as a case, a practical case, which is a Madani, the Malaysia Madani, or the Madani, Malaysia Madani, then we need to have that historical background, the concept background. So you, as experts in the field, if people say, what have you got to say about the Malaysia Madani? We should be able to compare whether this is a deviation from past discourse on Madani, or it's entirely new. Are these 6 pillars of the Malaysia Madani? Can that be traced to the discourse on Madani? So I think a few courses can be introduced under. But the more important thing is to understand the epistemological framework of the entire discipline called political science. So it's basically to examine the epistemology of political science. Yes, I did that. Oh, sorry, yes, thank you.
I'm very
Congratulations on your 2 million ringgit from Oman.
2.4. I'm very, very happy that Datuk is putting emphasis on literature, because in our field, literature has been like having a slow death. People are not giving importance, and even students are not wanting to specialize in literature. I'm not responsible for that. But so inshallah, with the new way forward of this emphasis in literature and what more comparative literature. So, but I would like to hear from Datuk, what is your view on how you want to take these 2 languages forward?
Just as in the political thought, that comparative political thought, one more in literature. Okay, in our case, the literature that interests us more, the Arabic Islamic literature, and of course, the Malay literature. Yeah. Now you have our guest writer, Mama Haji Salih, or a young professor. He's a person who is interested in comparative literature. I don't know how to mention, but I forget the Russian ambassador in Malaysia just visited me a few days ago, and we're talking about the future academic collaboration between Malaysia and Russia. So Russia not interested in good relations with the Islamic world, with the Muslim world. It's literature. It is true. I mean, it is Russian literature. It's far advanced. Yeah, for many reasons. Yeah, I don't want to go into that for many reasons. So, to understand, for example, that aspect of Malay classical Malay literature, traditional, and even the modern literature, as an aspect of Islamic literature. In what sense, a certain segment of the Malay literature can be considered as Islamic. It was debated, remember, New York Stars, this was debated in 1970. You debated, yeah, we debated that. What is Sastra Islam? What is Sastra Islam? So basically, what is Islamic literature? We have to examine that, because I think why many people don't want to go into literature, because the literature is full of anti-Islamic thing. I think that perception needs to be to be corrected. But then just simply go to the history of literature in Islam itself. Yeah? Of course, you have to go back to the Quran. To talk about literature, we have to go back to the Quran. And now it's the Department of Quran and yeah. So we have to. There's a lot of things that we need to do. But then one just combine. I don't know what sort of objections I have. I mean, if you to combine that, we have the Department of literature, comparative literature. Yeah. Now the question of language, I mean, this of course you learn language for the sake of just purely on the language, but then the philosophy on language. Yeah. Because I think that's important, philosophy of language, which is not really about to learn to speak Arabic, yeah? To speak French or whatever. That's another category. I mean, we provide. I think we provide as well that one as well. You can continue to provide that, but now another aspect about language. Language is basically about the philosophy of language. Language in relation now, for example, the connection between language and logic, and now language and artificial intelligence. So language has emerged as an issue in artificial intelligence, yeah, because they want to produce machines, to invent machines that can think, they can speak like human beings. So they have to study the structure, and this is what Al-Farabi did. I mean, when he in this book, Iium, he talks about that's right. Before you talk about it, just study the structure of language. That's of interest to anthropology. So, you know, how human language evolved. So the point is, it is good to have this. Not to mention, we'll be studying Jalaluddin Rumi, we'll be studying Saadi, we'll be studying, or even the early, not just the Sufi, So we need to sit down. We need to explore that. You direct to the.
Assalamualaikum.
Same thing. You are me and same.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Dr. Osman and Dr. Amila, Dr. Rahman. I'm the head of the current head of Department of Usuluddin and Comparative Religion. I do not know to insert philosophy now or not yet. First of all, I would like to thank Prof for highlighting the importance of philosophy into the religious studies, especially into Islam. Not because I am in the department,
but this is a kind of to motivate us. Okay, one is to understand that fundamental and foundation is very important in understanding religion and also worldview, even in knowledge, in which many people think that hands-on is more important these days. They don't want to know about what Usuluddin has something to do with this area, that area. And another thing also is to motivate our people as well as especially our students and also potential students, because if it is not highlighted at the high level of the university, yeah, they only know what is in their mind. Philosophy has nothing to do in their life, Usuluddin has nothing to do in their life, but whereas it is something very, very important. So thank you for that. Here is a small note pertaining to the name of the department, because after consultation with our members, actually we prefer to have Usuluddin, philosophy and comparative religion, because comparative religion is of course established field of knowledge, and at the same time we know that we are also unique, because as you mentioned, we want to make Quranic paradigm to be the main paradigm of the understanding of religions, other religions. And in philosophy, of course I share the same spirit. In fact, we agree with you even 200% of what you say. But I think if we have it as a comparative philosophy, it brings the scope of the study into a smaller scope. And what we are doing is not only about comparative, but more than that. So I think it is better to maintain as Usuluddin and philosophy, Usuluddin, philosophy and comparative religion. So that's my humble opinion for your consideration. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
So that's the feeling of the majority. Well, if you just put the word this, I think we have not finalized, but we are prepared to discuss. But just for the sake of argument, you put Usuluddin, okay, then philosophy by itself, no comparison. But in the case of religion, you want to put comparison. So why is it is okay to have comparative religion and not comparative philosophy? Because we say comparative religion, basically, in general, generally speaking, we'll be comparing between different religions. That is for the West. But for an Islamic university, of course the basis is Islam. Yeah? We study other religion in the light of Islam. It's not simply comparing to religion. Yes. We are not a Western university, an Islamic university. So that's the idea. In other, we want to encourage our Muslim Ummah. The way to look at religion is this. This is what Islam says. So basically, what we call comparative religion is that the core content will be what Islam says about the religion. So the same thing, philosophy. We want also is Islamic philosophy. That is the basis. That is our criteria to judge the other philosophy. So that's how to get there. Comparative religion and philosophy. And of course, religion and philosophy cannot be separated really. The whole purpose is to demonstrate to the world, to ourselves first, and to the world, to the Ummah, to the world, then through Usuluddin, comparative religion and philosophy, we are showing that this is what we mean by the unity of the Aqli and Naqli sciences. The unity of the Al-Ulum, Al-Naqliyah and Al-Ulum Al-Aqliyah. We today are debating it, but no. Our department, that's it. Actually, there is that unity. It's just different perspective, different approach to the study of things. I think basically that was the idea when I thought about why would I like to have this name, based on that reflection. That was the reason. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Any else?
Assalamu alaikum, Professor Muhammad. Expectation from academic staff. I have another question. Your case is exceptional. You have studied science, religion, philosophy from both Islamic and Western perspective. But those who are teaching in our faculty, in our departments, communication, political science, psychology, I am not sure all of them have studied from Islamic perspective all those dimensions. So what in the 90s, what the university suggested was a diploma course for revealed knowledge lecturers. They should take a diploma course in human sciences, and human sciences lecturers should take a diploma course in revealed knowledge. So how you would suggest we can help each other? Really, if you even change the name of political science from Madani studies to Madani studies and political science, then how many lecturers in our department at the moment would be able to teach about Madani studies practically? Because I am teaching course related to IOK Islamization, and many students come from different departments and they express their point of view. We have Department of Quran and Sunnah Studies. A small suggestion that it should be Department of the Quran and Sunnah Studies, because there is no Quran, there is Al-Quran. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is written Al-Quran in Arabic.
About how to, basically it's about how to improve. Things have been going on, you know. You have been here for a long time. You know the development. So the question, how can improve? Yes, if you are me, looking at what I know, as what I know about what kinds of courses are going on, what you teach, what ideas, and so on. Still a lot of room for improvement. It's the same. Talking about Quran studies. So the question is, my question is what is being taught in the name of the Quran and Sunnah study cover all the important issues that academics and students of the present time should know in the light of the problem of thought, thinking problem that we are facing. Are we addressing the problems of thought problem? I think that is very important. The question of a lot of going in society, question of blaming divisions in our society among the Muslims because wrong interpretation have been given question of interpretation. Are we clarifying this society or not? Yeah. So, of course, at the level of epistemology, the question what do you mean by the Quran as being the foundation of all epistemology? Quranic epistemology is the foundation of all epistemologies. That we need to teach. We have to discuss. Then I leave it to you, of course, and to your colleagues. Yeah? But we can maybe, why not? We have on the issue, for example, have workshops, small seminars. These seminars must be going on. Don't just the kind of seminar that we organize, then we invite one minister or something. No, I mean that is all show for show. It's not that. We're not talking about that. We're talking that seminar is our way of life. Seminar is our way of life. To discuss conceptual problems. We talk to each other. Just for example, question Quranic epistemology. Some people have written about that. Do we agree with that? Do we agree with that? What is that? Yeah. What is the connection between the Quran and the Tawhid epistemology that I'm talking about? So we look at the content of the whole Quran. Yeah? And this is this kind of thing that I'm inviting. That. Yeah? So the question of Sunnah, the Sunnah. Let's still going to the more serious things about Sunnah. Yeah? What is the relevance of the Sunnah to contemporary civilization, to civilization? So in other words, the Sunnah, even the understanding of the Sunnah, that needs to be relooked at. Yeah? Does Sunnah only pertain to action, or Sunnah also pertain to thought? Yeah? The best philosopher is Prophet Muhammad. That I would say. The best philosopher is the Prophet, not some other name. Yeah? Because if you understand philosophy is hikmah, then the Hakim, yeah, of all the hukama is the Prophet. So we talk about Madani now. Yes, the Madani suddenly become a new thing because of the development in the country since we had this Madani thing. But precisely what I thought of Daniel just now, what should you think about your course and the IOK, or your general studies? There should be the same approach. In other words, what you have to tell about Madani to the student should not differ from what is that Department of Political Science want to do. So you need to talk. The question now is talking to each other. We should be talking to each other on all this conceptual this problem now. Who is in this Department of Study here? Study history and Department of History and Civilization. Hafiz. Yeah. That's it. History. Basically, the history of Madani thought. Yeah, the history. Not only about the thought, but the institution. The political institution. What I would like to impress upon you is this: by me opening up this, I'm impressing that we need to critically examine our previous position. Be prepared to learn and relearn, unlearn, as they say. Yeah? I don't have all the answers, but what I would like is to have dialogue with you, to talk to you. So when I thought this, I forget my director, forget all my and it's good for me, good for my mind. I forget all this administrative job. This is what keeps me survive, keeps it in good shape, to talk about ideas. Then that, yes. Inshallah. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Sharafuddin Aminullah from the Department of Fiqh and also the Fiqh. So I have some idea, and I also want to appreciate your presence with us. My idea is I want you to please, because I will try to speak on behalf of students and on behalf of foreigner students particularly. So I want to use this opportunity to help, to beg all the who is concerned about the visa, issuing visa of foreigner students. Please help us make some review about the foreigners' visa, because we always fall into problem, especially if the visa is being issued 6 times for students. Maybe he has some problem and they have been issue visa for him. After 6 times, it will be a disaster for students in UAE. So another university, they don't express this type of challenges. Please help us look into visa problem, because we are facing me particularly, I faced visa issue for 2 years. I was frustrated. I can't write any thesis, anything for complete 2 years. So I'm almost now going out of the problem, but I'm saying this on behalf of my fellow PhD students or foreigner students in general. So then I wish to say this on behalf of our Postgraduate Student Association in Kuliya of Higher Education as their president right now. So in Arabic, I wrote this poem to welcome you. Please Bismillah. وإن تبتغي علما ودينا أصالة ففي بقية الأخيار ملقى الأنيفة وسعدي بماليزيا. What I'm saying, if you are searching for knowledge, and particularly religious sources, ففي بقية الأخيار, go to where the honorable people are teaching students. وسعدي بماليزيتي, my happiness, my greatest happiness for being in Malaysia, حين زرتها, when I visited her. وفي جامع الإسلام صنع الشريفة, I found myself in Islamic International University, Malaysia. وكليتي صرع العلوم العريقة, my dear Kuliya is the palace of knowledge. بناها رجال العلم, it was built by honorable and greatest knowledgeable people, فخر الأنيفة, those who are the pride of Islam nowadays. فهألا بأثمان رفيع الخليقة. You are welcome, our dear Professor Emeritus, Datuk Dr. Osman Bakar. Say Allahu Akbar. Rafi'ul Khaliqa, the honor of different beautiful character. وسهلا برئيس القوم أهل الخليفة. إلى كليتكم, this is your kuliya, this is your faculty. أصلها بصلابة, was buoyed with strong ambition, with strong motivation. The Abdul Hamidi, like those who like Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman, said Madam Bithaqafatin, and we are enjoying their civilization they brought to us. Jazakum adna, may Allah reward you. Rabba liwara bil mafasatin, la'ul hamdu fil ula wa yawm al hasifa. Wa in lam nakum sahaba bi Uthman Rashidin. If we are not able to live together with Osman al-Khalifa Thalitha, kafana bidokuturi Abi Bakri Shabufati. Maliu bikhibratin is full with different experience. Salil al-Abakir. Atharu faqat bi kulli al-alifa. Your effectiveness, your impact are full with many beautiful things. Ala Ahmad al-Mukhtari sallu wa sallimu ilaykum ya'udu an-naf'u bali fi sahifati. Wassalamu alaykum.
The problem has been solved already by your poem. Inshallah, I'll be looking to it. Inshallah.
Thank you so much to everyone for asking so many questions. It's been a lively discussion, and I'd like to say something about my field as well. I'm very much into Islamic advertising and Islamic integrated marketing communication. So, and I like to mix with practitioners outside. You know, I like to talk to them and promote the ethical side. And I realized the shocking thing is there are many Muslims out there that don't understand Islam as being a way of life. So they will tell me Dr. Aida, religion and advertising don't go together. And then I realized I have this huge responsibility, Datuk, to promote, you know what I mean, to go out there and promote it further in a way that they can digest it. And it's very sad to see Muslims out there not accepting what we are enhancing in here, what we are discussing about, you know, and so forth. So it's our responsibility to bring them to the right path, I suppose, inshallah. Thank you so much for the funding and so forth. Yes, Prof.
A word of wisdom which I just want to share with you. Sorry, I'm not just here to talk, but because Prof. Osman started with something very important when he said that he is a rector, but he is here to learn and also get others learn, so to share knowledge. This reminded me immediately when he said that of a very important advice given to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. He appointed someone by the name of An-Nadr ibn al-Harith on some of the community, part of the community, his followers and his supporters. And part of the advice was like this. He told him, know that you will come to people, some of whom are more learned than you, and others are equal to you in knowledge. And the third group will be less than you in knowledge. So you have to share your knowledge with those who are equal, get knowledge from those who are superior to you, and taught those who have less knowledge than you. It's really something very comprehensive, how in a body of institution like this, academics and administrators, etc., can really be carry that kind of spirit. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Prof. Talib. Now we would like to present a souvenir to the Honourable Rector. So I'd like to invite Prof. Shukran to present a token of appreciation to our Honourable Rector. Thank you so much for coming and engaging with us. Thank you.